Deuteronomy 5:16. Honor your father, your mother, as the Lord your God has commanded you, so that you may live long and that it may go well with you in the land that the Lord has given you. My only question about that is, so you may live long. Honor your mother and father, just so they don't beat you to death or what? The Bible speaks about 8 different places about honoring your father and your mother. How well have we been doing that? How well did we do that? I have to be very honest with you. Mother's Day is very hard, several reasons, but there's just not a whole lot to preach on about Mother's Day. So I'm going to be shooting from the hip this morning, and you are too, because you're going to be a part of this sermon this morning. We're going to keep it short and sweet. We're going to keep it upbeat. How many of you still have a mom living? Quite a few of you, okay? And the rest of us don't. Well, hopefully we can include everybody in this. October 1926, Miriam Ellen Miles was born in Tiffin, Ohio, to Harold and Jane Miles. She was one of 4 siblings. She grew up in Tiffin, moved to Findlay, fell in love with a young, thin man that was a bus driver. Had free bus rides back and forth through town. At age 16, eloped with this young man and saw him go off to World War II. She lived with his parents for a short time, lost a baby in that period. She went out to San Francisco to see James Arthur, and on that back then the trains were not cushioned like the Amtrak's today. Apparently they had hard wooden seats, and she lost that baby. But was able to have 3 more children. The first one, Irvin Eugene. Sickly baby. And in my opinion, he's still kind of sick, but that's all right. Second one was James Allen, who she later saw in 1970 killed instantly in a car accident. The third was me. She was a very special lady. When I first came, I told you that I wasn't raised in the church setting like this, but I knew there was a God through my mom. She was a great prayer warrior. Mary grew up in the church, was very active in the youth group, and so she had that grounding in her, knowing who her Lord and Savior was. Was a very, very giving lady. I can remember grew up about 8-9 blocks away from downtown Findlay. And she was the type of lady, the old Jupiter store. She'd go and buy the $2 or $3 pair of white tennis shoes to make sure the rest of us had the $10 ones. She made sure that we all had plenty to eat. Got to be a stay-at-home mom. and once us kids became around. Always, every night through the week, always cooked 2 meals, 2 suppers. She made one for my brothers and I, and then stood over watch like a Gestapo guard. I didn't know that you could get so much trouble just eating supper. But with 3 of us, and the oldest one being 10 years older than me, when the 2 of them were playing, you'd kind of reach over and mess with the mashed potatoes, and then the next one would hit you with the fork and stab you. Do you know how hard it is to eat with a fly swatter over your head? It's kind of like Bob the Moles. Stop it. I said stop it. Stop it. Quit crying. Stop it. Quit laughing. I mean, it was just, there's always something. I learned how to run through the house with my mom because she usually chased me with the fly swatter. I like what Chris was talking about with Bev helping out with lines and going. My dad was a hard guy to get to know. He was not one to wear his emotions out on his sleeve, not like me. And my dad was great at building the Pinewood Derby cars and all the Boy Scout rockets and all that kind of stuff. And then he was nice enough to send my mom to everything that we did. I could always look out, no matter if it was a choir concert, or if it was Boy Scouts, or whatever it was, and I could see my mom. Tried very hard to make my mom proud of me. And I think now that she's been long gone, I'm still trying very hard to make my mom proud. She, like I said, she made sure we were all taken care of. The one thing I learned from my mom is she said, you can always live in a dirt floor shack, but it would be a clean dirt floor shack. And I live by that motto. My mom grew up in the Great Depression. My grandmother was not the greatest of housekeepers, and I think that's where my mom kind of figured out that when she went to housekeeping, it was going to be a clean house. My mom never went to bed with dishes. I never grew up with a dishwasher. Our dishwasher was my mom. Never went to bed with dishes in the sink. She said that growing up, she remembered leaving for school in the morning and the dishes, actually the next morning, the dishes would still be there. Both my grandparents worked, and she said, I swore up and down that was never going to happen to me. I'm not going to bed with a dirty dish. That's the only thing, as far as cleaning habit, that I haven't quite gotten from her yet, but I'm close. No, I'm pretty close with that. But she was a great lady, and I miss her dearly. She wanted very hard to make it to her 50th wedding anniversary, and it was a very, very rough marriage, I would say. My dad loved her dearly, but to be quite honest with you, when he drank, it wasn't such a pretty picture. She put up with an awful lot to try to make it through. And as she got sick, I remember talking to Dr. Haycock and saying, if you just get me to my 50th wedding anniversary, I should miss it by about that much. Like I said, I miss her each and every day, but I try to hang on to the good things that I remember of my mom and the things that she taught me. And what I want to do is I want to just kind of open this up, and I don't want to get sappy. I want you to think for a second of a good memory of your mom. Something that, whether she taught you or whether it was playing ball with you or running lines with you, teaching you line. Does anybody have anything? This is where you're going to be a part of this morning. We're just going to take a few minutes just to share. Anybody have anything from your mom? Okay, we'll start here.
Well, I can remember maybe family vacations down at the cottage, and we tormented our mom because she was a little afraid of water then, and as kids, she could test us all. We would go out there and swim, and then Mom would be standing there. Of course, she's on the dock watching everybody. We're in the river. And then I can remember one time we all swam across to an island and coming back, and did this deliberately. And I didn't think about it at the time. I would have heard my children say about it. But I can remember getting halfway across, and Mom's standing on the dock, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going to fake the cramps. And I did that to her. You remember that, Mom? And Mom was freaking out on that dock. Let's say I got trouble up there.
Well, that's special.